A religious experience.
I'm sorry?
A religious experience. You're the host.
I'm in the cloud, dude. So, Alan, did you find out that we can still, that we have, okay, good. So we're ready
Yeah,
to launch the
I'm gonna
graphic.
give you a very brief update. I just spoke with Lillian Gwindy, the Access Events Coordinator. Um, I tried to anticipate the questions that we might ask today. We do have Wi-Fi at the facility. We do have projection. We can bring our own computer. Parking is any space that is not reserved is open on a Sunday, so we have easy parking. They will have trash containers for us. I've told her that we will try to minimize trash at the facility. The only thing that she's asked of us is to send her a blurb on the event so that she can, if there's any permissions that have to be done. She didn't understand about doing some solar cooking outside. She was worried that that would involve open flames or something.
It does. They're up there.
Exactly. Nuclear cooking, yes, exactly. So that's my brief report on the venue.
Brief,
A-
but
Any,
okay.
any questions from anybody?
Um,
It's on the menu.
On the menu?
You're
I
cooking
think last
something.
time we agreed that we were not going to try to do food at this event, at least for this first event, just to
Oh, you're
give.
solar cooking. What are you cooking?
Oh, I'm sorry. So if I do it, it's going to be beans. And if another friend, I haven't, if a friend comes with his full setup, I don't know what he's going to be cooking. But beans are by far the easiest thing to cook because it's basically a boiling pot of water.
good. You ever tried a barbecue by solar? No, never mind.
No.
So, okay, I'm gonna open up the agenda.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. This is Sharon, and I can't put my hands up or anything because I'm actually driving to a meeting and I have a hard stop like next 20 minutes. I wanted to ask Alan to ask that lady, we need tables and chairs and all that stuff. Will she provide that?
Yes, there are tables and chairs at the facility. There's a limited number of them, and we can estimate that from Peter from your video. However, what I propose is that we tell everybody you can use the existing tables and chairs until they're gone, and then if and that will lock you into the location where the tables and chairs are. If you want to bring your own tables and chairs, it'll give you more flexibility about where you set up.
Yeah, and we may find as time goes on that we want to import some, but that's fine. That's for later on. We can. I think I agree with what Alan says now. You can see from the video, we can count it up, we can get an estimation. The tables, there are not that many as, I mean, if you're thinking of like an auditorium seating, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure
Yeah,
it out.
I would suggest for our vendors, we just tell them to bring their own table. Tell them to bring a 6 foot or 8 foot table and whatever chairs you need out for outside.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
people
I'm
are
talking about is
used to
outside.
doing that.
Yeah. And then if anybody has a problem, then maybe we can accommodate them.
For inside, I'm going to ask that it be set up as auditorium style seating.
Great. Also, Alan, do they have a refillable water bottle option on their water fountains? I think they do.
Yes.
How does
Yes.
that, what do you mean an option?
You know, like in the airports or wherever you can fill up a water bottle with water.
Yeah, they have a bottle filling station. And what I'm going to recommend is that everybody who comes, we ask them not to bring single-use plastic containers, to bring their own refillable water container and utilize the excellent and inexpensive free water that's there.
That's why I'm asking. I think we're going to put that in the publicity. No single serve plastics and bring a refillable water bottle.
Yep.
I just want to
Now,
make sure it was available.
I would add that I have several of those 5 gallon water stands. In other words, you see at HEB, they sell those 5 gallon water jugs that weigh like 35 pounds or something. Like I say, I have 3 stands and I can bring those so we can set those up.
Okay, I think that would be great to accommodate people
Okay.
and encourage them.
So I'm going to go ahead and open up the agenda. And if people don't have it open already, the link is in chat. But at any rate, I'm going to share it because we can bomb through the agenda pretty quick, I think, or pretty reasonably well at any rate. So I would, if people have any questions, I'll open this one guy. That's what Robert's excellent proposed flyer looks like. And again, through the agenda, you can either download the PDF. You can't download PBS, not through the agenda. You can either download this file as a PDF document or as a JPEG. This is the JPEG. And there's also this guy. And this again is at the request that we need a resembling a banner, something that goes on the Action Network page below the map. And this is perfect, if you ask me. So do we have any questions or comments about the about using those two documents? One is a flyer, one is the image for the Access Network page.
I think the image for the access page, we need to upload ASAP. I think it looks great. Let's get it going. Let's be part of that action network. The other one, I think we need to determine exactly what our activities are
What
because
the contents
there's a
are. That's
lot
a good
listed
point.
on there. Yeah.
Okay, may I use that that flyer to send to the lady at Access because she is eager to.
Sure.
And
In
how
other
do
words,
I get access to it?
it may not be complete and refined, and it is a draft, but I don't see any reason not to. In other words, was she planning on using it for further distribution, or she just wants it for her own information?
She wants it because she kicks it up the chain just to make sure there's no issues with anything.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
don't
you
think-
know what? I'd hold off just a minute because we've got stuff like, you know, EV demonstration. I don't know, she might have qualms with that. There are things on there that I'm not sure that we're actually going to pull off. So
Okay.
I'd hate to.
Let's go back to that
start-
then. So here again is,
And I was just saying that list was from several different emails, so I kind of parsed everything together. And so I agree with Laura that let's as soon as we wrap up this meeting and we've got our bullets here, I can update that and send out a revised version. So I would feel comfortable doing that.
Great.
So
Robert, it
Alan,
looks great. Thank you for doing that.
so
Good
back
job.
to the image, back to the image itself. Let's take a look and say, I kind of agree on the electric vehicle. I'm not real sure that we're going to be test driving electric vehicles. I brought my Honda Insight to a 2001 Solar Fest. And back then it was actually something something that was kind of noticeable. I don't know that there's any need for, what do people think about electric vehicle?
I would say if we can get maybe Rivian involved, or if we could get if we could get the big F-250 truck, electric truck involved, then that would be different and that would be fun.
Something that would be great is if you could get owners of EVs to bring them and stand beside them and answer questions of people like, how far do you go in this? And where do you get the energy for it? That kind of thing. I've been to events that were quite effective that had 3 or 4 or 5 different vehicles lined up with the owners standing next to them and answering questions.
Yeah,
If
I
we
think
wanna
that's a
do
great
that-
idea. All the different models have different things to tout.
If we want to do that, we can talk to the City of San Antonio Office of Sustainability. They have their EV ambassador program, and they may be willing, even though this is not their event per se, they may be willing to say, hey, does anybody want to show up with their EVs? Contact Alan Montemayor or something.
That'd be cool.
Well, again, I'm
Ryan.
sorry, I'm driving, but there are several applications for EV charging stations, solar power EV charging stations, and canopies with EV charging. So it may be, I think there's some city properties, I can check with the lady that's doing that, and maybe that speaker can talk about how they charge through the canopies, that charge the batteries, so that the EV charging takes care of the batteries, takes care of the cars. So I think that's more applicable for Sunday. We want to just have completely an entire solar perspective.
So we can, again, that's the kind of, I think that kind of detail on charging is something that we could leave to the owners. In other words, again, EVs are a little on the side and solar is our main, and it's not bad. It's just simply saying that if we have owners there talking about how they charge, I think they can cover those sorts of details. And I like Alan's idea of approaching COSA's EV ambassador program, because I don't know anybody who owns a Lightning. I'd love to know somebody who owned an F-150 Lightning, right? So I could ask them, but I don't know of anybody. But back to the
But by the way, they do have 4 EV charging stations there that are free.
so as far as the test drive an electric vehicle, how would we change that for our conversation here?
Yes.
Do you want to get into the insurance aspect of that with car owners?
No. That's, or in other words, again, if there are people who want to ask those questions of owners, yeah. But as far as like, make that one of our efforts to talk about insurance for EVs. No, I don't think so.
No, I know if you have somebody, I think you're having something about test drive, electric vehicle.
I let caveat emptor. Let the driver beware. I'm not gonna. Yeah. What do you think, Alan? Is that something? I mean, if somebody hops in an EV at the parking lot.
Yeah, I have steered clear of test drives for that specific reason. There's just too many idiots out there, frankly.
Okay, then if we
how about just see a variety of electric vehicles, you know?
Right.
Check them
So
out.
it's not going to be test drive. It's going to be, instead of test drive, it's going to be what?
Show them under the hood, you know, let them sit in the car.
Sort of like
view EVs and talk to the owners.
see the latest electric vehicles.
I could bring my Chevy Bolt.
So how about
The very first electric vehicle. Yeah, and then I could see that there's a demonstration around town where they're using the solar canopies that are charging the EV, the batteries that'll charge the cars. I actually do have a gentleman that has solar power EV charging stations that are portable, but I don't know if he could make it on time, which would be, I think, perfect.
Well, that's clearly not portable. So he could be there to talk about what he's maybe display, maybe have a table up to show.
No, I just said to you, it's a mobile type thing where he actually sets them up, the charger station.
Well, if you can, if
I'll ask him. I can ask him.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
Is that
would be
something
great.
that's available to consumers?
Yes, it's available to consumer, but his niche market right now is events, arenas, local governments, etc. But I can ask him, and I can ask him if he has. The key is if he has something that's going on locally, or the fact that he could show CPS Energy it. So, but nothing. I'll give it a try.
Good.
Alan, do you know what charging company supplies the chargers over at Access?
Charge Point.
Charge Point. So maybe there's an opportunity for Charge Point to do some sponsoring.
They're not local and they don't care.
Okay.
And they're
Strike two.
and they're bad news. They're not very good.
They're kind of
Okay.
bad news. Yeah.
Okay.
They just
So
got in the market quick.
back to instead of test drive an electric vehicle, it will be something on the order of see the latest in electric vehicles, or
How about see
Inspect.
electric vehicles?
Yeah.
See electric vehicles.
Talk to an
Sorry?
owner.
I
Say
just
what?
say see electric vehicles, not see the latest, because we don't necessarily have access to the latest.
Well,
Dave is being modest. He has the latest. He has a 2025 Toyota.
there you go. Yeah, I'm trying to make it a little spritzy, but it's true that like see the EVs. It sounds like I see dead people. See the latest
Talk,
EVs.
talk to an EV owner and see their car.
There you go.
Yeah, that's good.
And see their car. I'm just trying to make it, see, experience their
Their
car, or, I'm trying to give it a little punch. Well, we'll worry about that later. Let's keep going.
You could always say get touchy-feely with an electric car.
And go to sleep inside their electric car. Okay, so see solar power demos for your home. Let's leave that alone. Learn about, and I'm trying to go fast, yes, because there's a lot to cover. Learn about plentiful solar power, hear from expert speakers, discover solar innovations, absolutely. Take a step towards a brighter future. Amen. So the only bullet I'm romping through it, and I'm romping through it, and you can expect me to do that for the rest of the hour. Are there any other changes people want to see on the bullet point set there?
That on that last point, will you put that up again? What was that last point?
Take a step toward a brighter future.
Yeah, I'd like to propose it's something that's not my idea, but it came from the webinar, that we create some kind of a promise, a petition,
Oh,
a take action kind of thing. Sign your name here and be part of.
you have obviously not looked at the agenda recently. I've got a whole
Sorry.
sheet of action items. Quite
Okay.
Peter, on that last bullet, I would only suggest take steps towards a brighter future rather than just a step.
Okay.
Well, that's what I'm trying to think of. That last bullet point. I'd rather say something about action.
Help us get to a brighter future.
So I intentionally did that not to turn anybody off. If we use language like a protest or a march or an action, I was trying to do it in a way that was not so obvious. So when they get there, they're there, and then we have actions for them. So I was trying to do it gently, but certainly I liked Alan's suggestion on take steps.
So how about take steps toward a brighter future? Is that good?
Yeah.
Yes. Moving right along, and I'll continue to gallop. So here you go, Laura. Opportunities for change and actions. Okay, so again, here, none of these are like find something to burn down and go do it. These are very milquetoast if you really look at them as far as the challenge to them. People saw, I hope, that New York Times article I sent around about people in Ohio who had banded together and formed a solar collective and had put a bunch of panels on their roof. My suggestion for this first one, I propose we offer to the audience that if anyone is interested, contact us, contact me, that's fine, and we can help facilitate an online meeting between Solar United Neighbors and them to help explore creating a collective to purchase and install solar panels on their homes. Right? In other words, that New York Times article was to me a very strong and positive article, and it's a good idea. It's a good idea. And if we make that proposal and people don't take us up on it. But it's still, to me, a pretty aggressive / progressive move to take.
I like it.
Thank you. So number 2, community solar through CPS Energy. For those who have read this damn agenda, which I can't believe you would, it's so long. Anyway, CPS Energy has posted, if you click on that link right there, you go to a community interest form that CPS has posted on their website for people to say, okay, so we've run out of cash for the existing community solar program. All we need is cash, and that means we need more interest. So what I'm proposing is I made a QR code that we can post using Google, not using anybody I paid for. It's just plain, you can do a right click and one of the drop down items on a right click on a web page is make a QR code for this page. That's what I
Nice.
did. So
Very nice.
we've got a QR code for that interest. In other words, right now, if anybody takes out your cell phone right this second, you point it at that guy, it'll open the website you just saw. Anyway, so I'm simply proposing that as another action item for people in our solar interested audience that want to see community solar back on CPS Energy's radar.
Imagine if after the 21st of September, they were deluged with interest forms.
Absolutely.
That would be nice.
So take a look at the next one. Petition for greater renewable solar generation purchases by CPS.
Peter, before we move off that one, I just want to say I did talk to the community solar people here in San Antonio.
With CPS.
No, not the CPS people, the actual people who have a bid in to CPS to do it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And they are very enthusiastic about it. I did speak about this in front of the SAWS board, asked them where we are in community solar. And the unofficial answer from their technical people are that their computer system is struggling, trying to accommodate how they're going to account for community solar on their bills.
But the first thing,
Alan, they've been using that excuse for everything for a decade.
yeah,
Got it. I understand. That's why I went like that. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
So
Now, is SAWS talking about a microgrid, or are you all talking about community solar where people can subscribe to a solar array, maybe
what we're talking about
5 megawatts?
What we're talking about
This is
go ahead,
This
Alan.
is community solar through Big Sun Solar. They have a proposal into CPS Energy. CPS Energy's been sitting on it for months and months and months.
Yeah, it was called a roofless thing. They've had 2 or 3 attempts at community solar. Unfortunately, some successful because there's some subscribers, but for the main people that it was geared for, it was unsuccessful for people to sign up. With that, guys, I don't want you all to think I'm a naysayer with some of the things you're doing, but I've been, at this for a while. So I want people to come out with action items that will work or will be successful. So, I mean, I think this is a good opportunity to network with folks to see what they exactly want and to make a tone to these agencies and other folks in their CPS territory that we want them to step up a little bit more too. With that, I'm sorry, I have to run to my other meeting. And again, anything I could do to help, I'm here for you.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So again, I'm not interested in the details. I'm interested in saying to the crowd, hopefully a big crowd, at the meeting, at the Sunday event, CPS Energy wants to hear from you that you want more community solar. Whatever that detail ends up being, however it ends up being run, or whoever subscribes or whatever the heck, that's beyond what we're doing. I'm trying to get people interested in solar. And this is an opportunity where CPS Energy has their own form up on the website saying, would you like to talk about community solar? Come on and let's talk. Let's go for it.
So Big Sun Solar is potentially interested in having a table at our event. So
cool.
They need to see the blurb first and run it by their managing directors, et cetera. So.
And tell me again, Alan, you said that Big Sun is one of 2 vendors who have a bid into CPS. Could you back up and talk about that?
My understanding is they are the only vendor that has a bid in to do community solar for CPS Energy.
And that's the one that's been sitting there for months.
Yes.
Okay.
Alan, you still talking to Jason over there? Is that your contact?
Jason Pittman. Yeah.
Jason in the past said he has solar panels laying around. You have one to offer, but maybe we can ask him to borrow some more.
Right at this point, we really don't need more than one. Right at this point, let's talk. We'll talk. That's down on the agenda. Let me keep going.
Okay.
So,
I think it's a great idea, Peter.
thank you. So again, petition for greater solar. Darby had earlier. Darby, you still on?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah, yeah. And I like the idea of the petition, and what we could include in there is we petition CPS to open up the community solar option and other options for distributed.
Agree, because I made this one. I made this proposal for you, Darby. You had talked before, sometimes kind of angrily, about the idea that CPS Energy shouldn't be doing any more fossil fuel power generation purchases. Let's agree. And so I've asked in this proposal that if you would draft that proposal,
yeah, sure will, and I'll get it out there. Yeah.
Another thing that we need them to get back into is giving those rebates for PV installations. They're not doing it right now.
Well,
Good luck.
Okay, keep a running list, because right now these are just what I came up with. When we get down there, there's more to go about the programs that CPS Energy has, some of which have fallen off the table, and some like this community solar, which have languished for funding, etc. So we've got some more to go on that. Now here's one that I hope everybody will agree in. Tell me what you think. The idea of, let me just do a real quick jog down here. Y'all remember we had a conversation on residential solar scams and what that meant to a lot of people getting ripped off. So I followed you. There's a link here. There's a 4-part series that was really very good, and really I think had a lot to do with what happened in this last legislative session. But the idea is that there are 2 bills, 1036 and Senate Bill 1036, Senate Bill 1697, that did pass. One of them is directly against the scammers, and one of them calls on the PUC to put a required practices list together and make sure that anybody who tries to vend installation hands out these brochures and follows the practices. So that's why this right here talks about the wrap up for solar for renewables was not bad for solar. And here's some quotes. Texas Solar and Storage Association is one of those lobbying firms that clearly has solar and batteries in there. That's what they do. And they said in this statement how pleased they were, pleased with the outcome. It's a little easier to read here. Pleased with the outcome. And here, this blurb right here to me is kind of a tailor-made blurb for talking about the improvements that we have seen because of the bills that did pass. And thank you very much, Ledge, for not passing a bunch of bad bills against renewables. The background is in this document, this set of links, but that kind of is the end blurb. And that's why I say up here, my take on it again is this idea of thanking the legislators, especially the conservative legislators, who allowed that to happen. Maybe they're grumbling, maybe they're making bad comments under their breath about green scams or who knows what the hell, but it happened. So the idea of being gracious enough to offer a petition for signature that says to them, thank you. To me, that's what we do nowadays. It's not lobbing grenades from either side of the trench warfare anymore. It's finding places and ways that we can agree and we can move forward together. So I would note that giving conservative politicians in Texas applause when they act in ways that align with our interests is politically influential and positive. So that's why I make this proposal that we create a petition for signature saying to these conservative dudes, right? I mean, these people, to say to them, thank you for doing what you're doing. And finally, this Project Sunroof, this again is an offer to the audience kind of thing. It's another QR code that if you point your phone at that, it takes you to this website where all you do is you put in your street address, and it will search for your home using Google Earth, right? Using the Google satellite imagery. It'll search for your home. It'll take a look at your roof, your tree cover and the orientation, presumably the orientation of your roof. And it'll put together some finance options for you. So the idea is, obviously it's a first cut. Obviously nobody's going to the bank based on these estimates, but the point remains, it's super fast, super easy. And if anybody in that audience is interested in solar for their house, here's a way to start. All you do is click on that, put in your address and click on that, check my roof, and you go. So that was what I wanted to bomb through. What do people
That's
think?
a great idea.
Okay. Yeah,
I love it. Will Darby, will you write all of those petitions? Do we keep them separated from each
I think
other?
we have just one that goes to CPS Energy and the San Antonio City Council that deals with their policies towards promoting solar.
Yep, I agree.
Petition to the, pardon?
I agree.
Okay.
What did I just do?
I can see us setting up little action tables or something, maybe with each one of these petitions separated. Then we'll gather them together and
And
send them
I can see being on stage and having a QR code or whatever the hell and saying, right now, putting it in a program that you hand out as a flyer, so that when people are in the audience, you go right here, you can sign our petition. It goes to a Google form. So it lasts both after and before the event, not just 3 hours or 4 hours, but we get some signatures going.
Right.
So add petition.
We need to tell people that December 31st is the deadline, isn't it, for the rebates from federal?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So somebody said something about a city council petition. What were they saying?
What I'm saying is that the CPS Energy and San Antonio City Council control the solar policy of the city. Council dictates policy to the CPS Energy under their ordinance if they want to. They have the power to do so. And so we want to petition these council people to push CPS Energy towards solar.
Okay.
In the same petition.
Good.
So let's be clear about what we're doing here, though. I'm anticipating 150 to 300 people at this event. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's much more. But is a petition of that magnitude really going to be worth anything?
No, because it'd just be the beginning. It would have to actually use that petition elsewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, things like the CPS Community Solar Citizens Information Request, anybody can do that anytime. That doesn't require a critical mass, but I understand what you're saying about. Well, I'm going to keep those ideas going as far as who writes them. I only really assigned, as it were, Darby that one because he was the only one. Yeah, so some of these kind of like the first one about the rooftop solar collective. That asks.
Peter,
Go ahead.
can I ask a quick question? Are y'all in contact with any actual residential solar installers? And how are they booked through the end of the year already, or do they still have openings to get clients before the end of the year?
I actually talked to the ones that I've worked with. It's Freedom Solar, and they're on CPS's recommended list. They said they're still advertising, and they said if you act now, we can make every effort to get you done by the end of the year. But by September 21st, I don't know. It's getting very close.
So a little more answer to your question. David identified the group from is that
Energy Sage Energy.
I'm sorry?
Energy Sage.
Right, Sage Energy Sage, which is identified by Third Act National as a group of vendors. And I've also got links in the where do I have that? At any rate, somewhere in here, I've got links to CPS Energy's somewhere in this miasma is a link to CPS Energy's.
Are you going to have any of these people tabling?
We haven't got that far yet. So here's a list. Here's CPS Energies. Peter was just talking about a group that's on here. So there is a group. We haven't got that far yet, Russell, but there's no problem with doing it. We're just now approaching the place where we're starting this level of planning.
I invited South Texas Solar.
Okay.
I've reached out to Freedom Solar also. They're the manager in that area is supposed to be calling me soon.
I'm sorry, what's the name, Peter?
Freedom Solar.
Freedom. Okay. Right. Okay, let me keep going because we're doing great, but we have yet to get through. Okay. So let's talk about, so here's an organizational task list that David proposed, and I won't quite go there yet because we're not quite ready for that. Let's just talk real quickly about demonstration projects. Russell, Allen, and myself were talking about the solar charging use demonstration project. And Russell, Allen has the panel. Russell's got the inverter.
And a battery.
And the battery. What kind of battery is it?
The lithium iron phosphate, 100 amp hour.
I'm sorry?
Lithium iron phosphate, 100 amp hour.
100 amp hour, good. Because, and I've got the PA system. It's a portable PA system that plugs in and we can use it to charge and demonstrate. Good, so that's done. That's great.
What I do not have is, maybe Alan has, is the controller from the solar to the battery, the MP4, whatever it's called. I do not have one of those.
I have a lead acid battery controller. I do not have a lithium controller.
Okay, something I need to work on anyway.
I saw a YouTube video that was a do-it-yourself how to build your own, but I don't think that's where
they're not that expensive and it's on my wish list, so
good occasion. I heard somebody else start to talk. Was somebody else going to say something? Okay.
I wanted to tell you guys that I will go in a few days in advance and make sure my computer plays well with their AV system.
Good.
And that we get the proper Wi-Fi codes and all that stuff.
Good.
Very good. Thank you very much. So back to this guy. We had talked about balcony and plug-in solar or plug-in solar. David, at one point, I believe you had talked about Craftstrom and the idea of them being a potential source either of a balcony demonstration unit or something like that. What were your thoughts?
Well, I have reached out to them personally and also to Energy Sage. I've seen both of those on that list, and neither one of them have gotten back to me. I talked to Nancy LaPlaca last week, and she indicated that she would be able to arrange direct contact. She had some people and some phone numbers, but I haven't heard back from her yet either, so I will follow up with her.
Yeah, so again, what we're looking for is sort of a companion, in an ideal world, a kind of maybe a companion demonstration to the solar demonstration project that Alan, Russell, and I are talking about. Have several different methods, several different demonstrations of what is the ideas. The Craftstrom obviously is a commercial unit, which is nothing wrong with that. Simply, again, to open people's eyes to what's available and what's out there, if we can get it.
Well, it can't be a demonstration, Peter, because it actually has to plug into a home electrical panel. So we could potentially have a balcony panel there for somebody to look at and maybe a video to see, that it won't actually be an actual live demonstration of how it works. I don't think. Maybe they've got a way to do it. Yeah. If I can get somebody to call.
I've asked CPS if we can do that at our building here, balcony solar, and they're not responding. I don't believe that it's going to be allowed in San Antonio, but I'll nail that down. But we could put that in the petition that they should
That's right.
allow balcony.
Darby, I followed up on that at the board meeting the other day, and I sent an email or sent a text specifically asking for input on this to Eliana Ball, and she is supposed to get back to me on this.
Good.
That's
And
interesting. I went through customer service and tried to get a response several times now, and that's worthless.
No, you have to start pretty high to get any kind of response.
well, speaking of starting high, oh, he's not on the call anymore. Peter had talked about talking to CPS Energy for a speaker, but I'm just wondering if that would be, Peter, if your contact at CPS would also maybe be somebody who would be able to carry that water, be able to ask that question about whether or not the plug-in solar is permissible. Are there permits required? Do you know that litany, Peter? Are you familiar with that question? Uh-oh.
Again,
Plug in, yes,
set a balcony.
Okay.
at a balcony.
My understanding with the terminology is that in Europe it's called balcony solar, and here it's called plug and play solar and a variety of other things.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I lost the transmission there. I turned my video off because of it. Is that something, Peter, you can ask about?
Yes, I'll ask my contact.
Very good, very good. So it sounds like we've got a couple of possible inroads to answering that question. Good.
Peter, this is Darshana. I can ask also if for the speaker at CPS, okay?
Well, we're not talking about getting a speaker yet.
I'm just telling you.
Okay, okay.
I just joined quickly and then I told you all this. We have festival
Right.
going.
You and Ganesh are busy. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So
One
Yes.
technical thing, if what y'all are envisioning is a plug-in solar, they do not want solar backfeeding into their system when the power goes out. They want something that'll shut off in 4 milliseconds. And not having a device approved for that is a challenge.
Yeah, Russell, all of these systems meet UL 1741, which is the anti-islanding standard. So yeah, they are already very cognizant of that.
it's really just a question of, will CPS Energy freak out if we plug a plug-in solar system into their grid? That's
Yes, they will.
Yeah, that's probably true.
so we could be sneaky and freak them out by plugging it anyway, but I don't think we should. I think we should go ahead and find out. I mean, the temptation is great for me, I'll have to admit. I'm just that kind
Let's go plug one in your house, Peter, okay?
Sure.
I'll ask my contact.
Actually,
What
yes.
if I did that?
Yeah.
What would happen if I did that? I'll ask my contact.
Well, it should be nothing, right? That's the whole point. It should be ULI approved and ready to go, but that's
Well, the other issue is if the solar panel produces more than your house is consuming, a standard electric meter is not designed to run backwards. If you already have solar on your house and you plug this in, chances are it would just power your house or run your meter backwards, and CPS Energy has no way of accounting for the electrons. Okay, so anyway.
well, I'm still enough of a rebel that if I had one right now, I'd plug it in. I tell you what. So,
Hey, I
Robert?
wanted to throw out one other thing that David Lodge got us set up with a very interesting meeting yesterday at Woodland Baptist Church. They have installed 300 plus solar panels and
Wow.
have been 1.3 megawatts of power. I'm sorry,
That's right.
yeah, megawatts of power.
Wow.
Anyway, we had a great meeting with them, and they may want to display at the at our event, and maybe we can take them to the next steps about getting their congregations more solar.
Okay. So again, what is the name of that church?
Woodland
Woodland Church.
Baptist Church.
No Baptist.
Woodland Church.
Yes. They dumped Baptist out of their name.
Yeah, I have two cards, one that says Baptist Church and one that doesn't. So
All right. They changed the sign on the street that says Woodland Church at this point.
Let's go with the anti-Baptist crowd anyway. I didn't say that. I just thought that. So Alan, what are your steps now? What are you gonna do?
as far as Woodland, we
Yeah.
just invited them to attend and, showcase what they have done and
With photographs, obviously.
how it's affected their congregation.
One of the things, I took a video yesterday of our little 21-minute meeting, and I am working to try and see if I can I've got some issues with the equipment that I'm using, and I may have to get some help from an expert on iPad. But anyway, I think it might be possible to take that video from 21 minutes down to 3 or 4 minutes or something that we could use to project on a small PC or something like that. So that could be a background for them and for us to use at the event. Their facility is pretty impressive, and we can splice in some Google Earth pictures that show all the literally hundreds of panels on top of their church. And they
reduced their August bills from $4,000 per month to $1,000 per month.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Is there a representative at the church that would speak to that and do a presentation with your video and talk to people? I mean, they're a small business. They could appeal to small business owners, maybe not residential, but do a
That's a good idea.
presentation.
I'm not sure we can approach that. They have a very environmentally oriented congregation at this point. I'm not sure they want to speak, but they might want a table with the idea that they could generate some more congregants for their church. So that was my thought to begin.
I wouldn't approach them as a business. I just simply approach them for the point that they've got solar panels all over the place, and
Right.
it cuts in their consumption, and it's helped their energy bills, and they want more. They want their congregants. I mean, that's an angle we might want to think through a little bit more. The idea of them wanting their congregants to, there might be some other thin wedge to drive in that and get some more ideas out of.
They have actually increased their congregation to a certain extent as a result of all this environmental effort that they're going through.
And we broached the topic of offering like a community solar buy program with them, and they seemed sort of interested in that, to get a better deal for their congregants.
Anyway,
that's very good, because one of the facts is, hang on, I'm trying to type and talk at the same time, and I'm not a multitasker. It'll have to do. One of the topics that I got email for somebody from the Laudato Si movement.
Mm-hmm.
And while we have Arthur Dawes in our group, he's not online right this second, but he is with Laudato Si. And so the email kind of ended with acknowledging that he was with our group and he was with Laudato Si, because this group was talking about a group of congregant Laudato Si in Texas, and they were specifically approaching about Sunday. Point being, there is interest. There's interest both ways. There's interest in, here's a case in which we see, I mean, just to be real bones about it, we see value in having a church participate when that church has put solar on the roof and wants more people, including their congregation, to participate. And the other end of it, where the Laudato Si wants to be part of what we're doing. I'm sorry, Arthur's not on the call, but you were nodding your head out.
Hey, Peter, I contacted Laura Zapata, I think her name, or Mata. She's the Virginia Mata. She's a PhD head of the Archdiocesan social justice thing, and she's also pushing Laudato Si in those, hundreds of parishes of the Catholic Archdiocese, and about coming to this thing. And she said she couldn't make it, but she was sending me their information so that we can pass it out in a table at the deal. But my parish, we're trying to push them to go ahead and do the solar panel thing. And so it would be a really good opportunity for people to see a church doing that, because it saves money.
Darby,
really cool
Darby, pursuant to that, we specifically asked the Woodland Church if they would consider doing tours of their facility for other religious groups, in particular crossing the religious divide between groups. He said yes, categorically yes.
They've already done tours.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, if we get the bishop to get on board with that, they could save tons of money, and what a message it would be to the community, to the big community.
So again, to kind of put a little more meat on the bones, if we could have Woodland Church present, just again, simply as the success of what they've done, an exemplar for solar in the community, and all the energy savings, blah, blah, blah. But Alan, do you think you could maybe talk them into thinking about a presentation? And
I
what they
will
feel
ask.
comfortable with?
I will ask. The worst they can do is say no.
Right, right. Good. Because that opens the door for the other side, like Darby's saying, the idea of when there are other congregations, other people present, that is, they are either with Laudato Si or some other congregation or whatever. They are seeing that and they're attracted by that, they will have that opportunity. So that's good. That's good thinking. I like that.
And David's already got video of the site if they
Right.
need a little bit of a little
Yeah.
nudge with their presentation.
Yeah, if you want, David, do you have that posted somewhere, that video?
It's such a large file, I've not been able to wrangle it yet. And so I'm going to have to, like I say, I've got a problem because I did it on an iPad that belonged to my partner who died 2 years ago, and I don't have all the right passwords. So
Oh no.
I'm trying to locate all the appropriate passwords so I can move files around.
Well, Russell, you just went with that wrangling passwords. Do you have any tips?
Oh man, don't die. 2 months it took me to sort through when the Medina County Democratic Party chair passed away 2 weeks before the election. And I worked with her daughter, with her, she had everything on her personal phone on the two-factor authentication, not the club's phone. 2 months it took me to sort through everything.
But
Wow.
do you think you'll be able to get through that to that video, David?
I think so. I'm working on it. I've spent some time with it today, but I've not finished with it yet. So,
And I would also offer that I have a DJI Phantom Pro 4, in other words, a drone. I could literally fly over their building and do my own video. Just saying. I'm not saying it has to be. It'd be fine not to be fine to use Google Earth. That's fine. It's all
solar
fine.
panel company provided them with
Oh,
some video from the installation, so we can probably rely on them to provide that to us as well. So
that would be good.
They were really, I think, gratified that we came to see what was going on with them, and I think they want to participate in more activities.
Well, that's great. If between the two, we can make sure that they come. They're going to be able to make a presentation, and if we can use their video, that'd be great.
The only issue is that this is a Sunday event, so this is the church, so that may cause a little bit of a wrinkle.
Well, if they want to come after services end by 12. Anyway, that's what we got. That's good though. That's real good. I'm glad, because I was really kind of fishing for the idea of a further connection with Laudato Si. I wasn't quite sure what that meant. So before, also, Alan, we talked about a solar oven, solar cooker. We kind of talked about, briefly mentioned that today. Is that something you have?
I will bring my solar cooker.
And you'll just not cook. Can we cook hot dogs? Well, at any rate.
I will be cooking beans on that day, and I will start them early so that they're boiling by the time and smelling good by the time people get there.
Good.
I've also invited another guy who has multiple solar cookers.
Oh,
It's
man.
unclear whether he will attend or not, but he will have a much wider range of menus.
Very cool. So, Judy, can I ask you to bump in? And you've left a link in the Bill Simons built an affordable community garden solar system. He might be able to show what the system can do. Now, what are you thinking when you say that? In other words, come to the event with a solar system?
Well, I don't know if he's able to take it off the roof. It's one panel, and then inside the shed, there's the control area. It's a box. It has the battery storage. It has charging stations for the weed whacker, and power up our drill, a couple of our tools, and it was very affordable. And he's an expert person that can talk about it. He's a little bit of an inventor, a tinkerer, and it would be an interesting show if he's able to either disconnect or get a simple solar panel that he can then hook up to the box that he built. It's a small box. I can show you. I've got photographs of it. I can pass that around and show you it. It was a game changer for our garden. It opened up a lot more use for us to use the garden in the evening with under shelter lighting. The shed now has light in it when you open the door, and we're able to pump water from our 4 rainwater harvesting barrels to the pollinator beds.
So if he's somebody who can who could, for instance, if he set up a table and he had photographs, images, he had a description of what he has done. Again,
Yeah.
because we'll have the solar panel and the battery and the PA system recharge. We'll have several actual solar devices. So not every one of them needs to have a separate, complete working system as part of the display. I mean, I think if we have a couple actual functional solar devices, that tells the story well enough that we don't need to have it black or white that if he doesn't bring his solar system, he can't show. So talk to him about the idea of tabling, would you please?
Yeah, sure.
Great. Okay, so
I've asked South Texas Solar to bring a solar generator. And
Okay.
Fortunately, they got rid of theirs, but they're going to may borrow one for the demo.
And again, that's essentially a solar panel with a battery on it and an inverter. Yeah. So again, that's good. That's good. So it's good that in my sense, it's also good that we're spanning the range of DIY to store-bought, right? We're sort of showing that there's a world out there. And so go get interested, y'all. Let me go through speakers real quick because that's the next thing that needs to happen, something resembling quick. Alan, if I could ask you, please, to kind of write down what topics you were thinking of covering when you spoke. Would that make sense? Could I ask you to do that for me, please, for us?
Yes.
Okay, good. Then, so it's like with speakers, it's like putting a jigsaw puzzle together, right? Who does what and how do they fit together, blah, blah. My first name is this guy, Judd Messer, who spoke to Citizens Climate Lobby. Is Stuart still there? No, Stuart left us, not in a metaphysical sense. Citizens Climate Lobby had a lobby day in Austin a couple of months ago, and this guy spoke, and he impressed me as eloquent and sharp. And as you can see in this blurb, part of what they do is work with conservatives. And that's something that's kind of rubbed off on me from working with Citizens Climate Lobby. So he would be a good speaker, and he could speak more or less to the last legislative session and the successes that solar had. Again, Advanced Power Alliance. policies that grow the use of wind, solar energy storage, and hydrogen, well, hydrogen, whatever, across the states. So the point remains that he both speaks well, he speaks to conservatives, and while I haven't approached him about this, what do people think? There's also some links about what the alliance does. Shall I approach him and see if he's available?
Very much so.
Okay.
The personal experience is I'm talking to some people down in Corpus that tend to be on the conservative side, but more so they are on the independent side to break away from the grid, to get away from everything that society has to offer. And these people are really interested in solar and other stuff, and yet they're very just do-it-yourselfer conservatives.
Right, right.
And we need to market to those people.
I agree. Right, I agree. And that's to me why I'm also thinking in terms of that thank you letter to the conservative legislators. It's not, it all means all, right? That's the famous progressive cry. All means all. Damn it. Yes, it does. That means everybody. Thank you. Yeah. So I will ask him. And here's a real interesting one. Esteban Lopez Ochoa, an assistant professor at UTSA. And what they're doing is kind of summarized, encapsulated in this title, this article title that's on USA Today. Urban Digital Twins with Responsible AI for Community Resilience. And if you can parse that shit, the idea is urban digital twins, they're talking about setting up a computational system that will mirror to their best of their ability what the real world is doing with responsible AI to interpolate and extrapolate and make, they're not gonna have a sensor on everybody's rooftop. What can I say? There is AI required to make that functional in some sense, and the goal is community resistance. So again, this is an ongoing project, and it's fascinating because never in the description do you read about climate change. You read about where is it? Higher poverty rates, limited quality access to healthcare and education, reduced resilience to natural disasters. So they nibble at the edges of climate and address it. And in this second description, this unethical urban twin designed digital twin to mitigate heat. This is specific to San Antonio, and it talks about heat and mitigating heat and adapting to heat in San Antonio, especially focusing on San Antonio's west side, historically disadvantaged Hispanic community. So while this isn't research on solar per se, two things. I don't know to what extent we're going to be able to really wrap enough speakers on strictly solar, right? Applications for solar, hope that opens some doors. What climate change means and how solar might help, that opens some more doors. So what do people think about that guy? Again, you can read more on those links, show what his research is doing. What do y'all think? Is that okay? Shall I talk
It
to him?
works.
Marginal.
Well, and here I'm open to other speakers. They're not all going to be as knowledgeable as you, Alan. What can I do? But
How many
What do you
speakers
guys
do you
think
already?
about,
Alan,
what do you think about getting 5 minutes of Catherine Hayhoe just on a video, or Bill McKibben 15 minutes on a video?
so let me.
You can do that?
I just posted the same thing.
Not-
Catherine Hayhoe is
not live.
spot on. And she has a lot of videos that she's already talked about solar. And I know she is happy to have people use them, air them, run them.
So that if we are willing to have video presentations remotely, which is what online videos are, that opens the door. Right now, Melissa had talked about the idea of this Ed Hers who is a well-renowned energy specialist out of University of Houston, I'm pretty sure. I've heard him speak before, and he's a hot potato, man. This years ago, but I'm sure he still is good. The idea being that if he could not, if he were willing to show in person, that'd be the best. If he has a good topic, I haven't seen what he's done. He was apparently on The Source today. TPR is The Source, and I was not available to see it. Neither are you. We're here. But if he has a topic he'd like to speak on, if he wanted to come in person, obviously it'd be the best. But if he can't, because he's in Houston, and if we would have to pay for him a hotel room and a flight on Trump's 747 or whatever the hell, we don't have the money. So the idea of him doing a remote video, either
He can drive.
recorded or not, that opens up doors. So I'll just put a note to myself that remote speakers and prepared, if I can spell prepared, videos. Okay.
You mentioned CPS Energy before. I think it would be a mistake not to pursue that and giving them a slot to speak.
That's what I'm working on that actually.
Who are you talking to?
My contact at CPS Energy, Lee Bird. He's in management there.
How about I just forgot it for Hernandez. What's the first name, Peter?
I'm sorry, Hernandez?
With CPS, she coordinates all the environmental stuff.
Angela Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Rodriguez. She'd be the person to go to.
What's the first
name? I spoke with her at length at the board meeting, and about a wide range of topics. She has no authority within CPS Energy, but she is knowledgeable about a wide range of topics.
But she could speak.
Maybe.
Well, I don't know if I'd ask her to speak. I guess we could, but I think that, well, let's see. Yeah, Angela's, I really like Angela. We've all known her for what, a dozen years or something, or longer.
Yeah.
I've never heard her speak. And I would want somebody, as I wrote in the document,
invite Rudy and
well,
just let's invite Rudy and then let him delegate it out if he didn't want to speak himself.
Can you contact him that way?
Can send him a text and see.
So here's here's the path I'm interested in. I mean, this is me writing it out. This is not me saying what happens.
But you've already got, I'm sorry, I don't know your name, don't know you. We've already got you pursuing that. So instead of going to the very top, maybe.
Yeah, well, I don't have my contact is not at Rudy's level, of course.
But if you've already working on it from that level, you need to keep pursuing it if you've already started it.
Yeah, I need to get a response, and I poked him again to this morning. I'm trying to get a response and find out where we stand.
Peter, I'll put my phone number in the chat, and if you don't, I can. I do have contact with.
So let me just
thanks, Russell.
Let me just make this point. Here's what I asked for when I asked Peter. I suggest he ask for a CPS guest speaker who can talk about the ongoing customer solar programs as they're described below in this document. They're quite thoroughly described. Some are dead, some are living, some are asking for breath. Objectives and possible timelines for solar and other renewable generation found in CPSA's Vision 2027 generation plan, to include the recent bids for wind generation, any recent discussion during the meetings with the CPS board, indicating possible new initiatives for the agency, and anything that is described in Horizon 2050 that they feel is likely. So I'm asking for them to be able to cover quite a gamut, but that's what would make Rudy really good. But again, for me, the point is, we've got this audience. CPS is it. It's not the city of San Antonio, CPS Energy. They're the ones to go to for solar. What do we want to know to best enable our community to get solar, to interest people in solar, to see it on their houses, to put it in the communities, right? We want open the doors wide. Talk to me, CPS, about solar. How can we do it? Talk to me about renewables. Talk to me about your future plans, right?
Well, hey, and give an opportunity for questions.
Yes.
The other person, I don't know, he's not mayor anymore, but Ron would probably, if he's available, would speak if he's done a lot of ribbon cuttings with solars and got a lot of stuff installed with the city.
How germane does his portfolio remain with solar per se?
He was sat on CPS Energy's board, implemented all of these projects all over the city on all the city buildings and everything else. He got a lot of stuff done.
And he directed the climate action adaptation plan.
He did a lot. I don't know if y'all would want him as a former mayor. He's sitting there looking for stuff to do.
For me, it's knowledge. I don't give a shit about his title. I care about his knowledge.
He's got a lot of it.
He does, and a lot of experience. And if he's really twiddling his thumbs, I think this might be excellent.
Do you want me to reach out to him?
Yes.
But think about it. Don't say an immediate list. Think about it first.
Well,
what do you think specifically he would talk about? What would he be best to talk about to this audience?
Well, how would he address a crowd who's interested in solar? That's the question.
He's a huge advocate for it. He got a lot of projects done with the city. He knows the politics of it, getting it done.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point. More than, we can get somebody from CPS who can rattle off technical details and engineering the steps, but the idea of
we know he's a great speaker and he's independent of all that now. He doesn't have any alliances necessarily, so he can be independent of CPS, but can he speak to directing consumers on a path to get solar?
Wouldn't know unless we ask him.
Yeah.
My conversation with my contact, we're angling more at what does CPS have to offer to these consumers that are going to be there, and what, because their list has gotten a lot shorter in the last year or two. So I may not have any luck getting anybody to come out, but I'm giving that a try.
Well, why don't we do it this way? Why don't we let Peter? Again, Peter's going to take the ball and run with that idea. Peter understands the scope of what I think we're asking for as far as CPS Energy and somebody who can ask questions. Maybe we have a panel. I'm not really sure how this is going to work. Maybe we have a panel so we can do back and forth questions and then to the audience. I'm not sure how it's going to work. But that idea of being able to ask questions, ask and answer questions about CPS Energy, their intentions, their future. And if that doesn't work, Russell can put a text into Rudy, or, between the two of them, we've got some pretty good hits on CPS Energy. We've got some pretty good insights. And then if we get an idea of from CPS, who can come, who can say what, then we have an idea of what space Ron could fill in, right? We don't need them to repeat messages, and I'm sure they wouldn't anyway. They're different people, human beings. But I think that, to have somebody as high up as Rudy and to have somebody like Ron on the headlines, that's our draw. I remember David talking about who we're going to get, who's the attractor. Talk to me about who's going to draw an audience.
And
I don't know how much higher we can go.
I tell you what, Rudy himself would be maybe reluctant because of the political environment. He may.
That's what I was.
But Ron is now, so somebody lower down to talk technical, he'd get them to show up. For him to show up, I don't know. But right now,
Russell, how about Elena Ball? She's a big shot, but not that big.
What does she do?
She's done something about policy. I don't know. We met with her about a year ago, and she's way up there in terms of decision making. Alan was talking to about her earlier. See, Alan, you still there?
No, I don't see his name up. He scooted.
Okay.
Well, I gotta go too.
So-
I have one thought quickly. Can we have video message from Bill McKibben and Catherine Hayhoe?
Who was the first person?
Bill McKibben.
Bill McKibben.
We
Video
can
message.
either,
Yeah, David, I'm asking you.
we could, the best would be to ask him to do a parachute 5-minute video recording that would be addressed to our audience, right? That would be the best, so that he's not
the
gonna
best
fly
way
in and
to
be on
know.
stage.
It's
Huh?
not video message.
Huh? Sorry. So if we can get him to do a video message directed to our audience, that would be number one. Number two would be,
Yes.
and Darby has talked before about the idea of there being, I think it was Bill McKibben. Hadn't you talked, Darby, about you seeing some knockout Bill McKibben video?
Oh yeah, yeah, he's really good, and we either get a tape of him, or maybe he would, like you say,
Yeah.
drop in on the meeting. Yeah.
Well, if you can provide us a link to that, what you thought of as a knockout, I don't know if it was an interview or a panel or what you saw, but if
Yeah.
you can provide us that link, we can start there.
Let me look. Let me see what I can find out, and I'll get back to you.
Okay. And Darshana, I've been seeing a lot of stuff scroll by as far as Catherine Hayhoe, but I don't know about a link to a video.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
So if somebody wants to,
We used
oh shit.
fantastic. I mean,
Yeah.
you're gonna love it. So I
I'm
think
sorry,
we can get that again.
I'm sorry, my
gave it
video,
to us.
what video is that? My video dropped out again. My sound dropped out. What video?
It's a video of Catherine Hayhoe that we used when we launched the Third Act Texas about 6 months ago, and it's just a wonderful 5-minute statement about Texas and how we should be leading the nation in climate action for a bunch of reasons.
Right.
And I think it's one of the best things I've seen. Yeah.
Great. So
That sounds wonderful.
in my dream agenda, I would have Ron Nierenberg give the keynote because he's live and he's a person and he's well known. And I'd follow it up with like a Hayhoe video or a Bill McKibben, maybe both, and then start the process for the rest of the presentations. But that is something we've got to work on, folks, is the idea of presentations. We really don't, I mean, we're telling ourselves we're going to have a 4-hour program. We're there from 11 to 3. There's no way to set up. We don't have enough time to fill 4 hours worth of speakers, I don't think. So we'll do the best we can. We'll do what we can do, and we'll see what happens.
We don't have to have speakers for the full 4 hours if we've got demonstration projects and other things for people to look at.
True.
You're speaking.
So what are they going to do? Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Nobody's going to want to sit for 4 hours anyway and listen to speakers.
No.
So you do 2
Well-
hours and then take a break, or an hour and a half, take a break and do another portion. And we want people to mill around with the demonstrations outside also. If we have EV vehicles, that takes time. If the people want to figure out how to DIY a solar cooker, that takes time. So I don't think we're doing 4 hours of speaking.
Yeah.
No.
And I think if we have some fun activities for kids just to have a distraction, I thought it'd be kind of fun to have a cornhole throw where we develop a cornhole that looks like the sun or something.
And the National has provided a page, a coloring page. They can do that where you complete the sun in your own style. That can be a booth or table of some sort.
I want to do sidewalk chalk art.
Well, we need
Yeah,
to check
that's something that Alan needs to tell the access people.
Oh yeah. It washes out with the rain.
Well, maybe we need to rinse it then. But yeah, the conversation that is against the law in the city of San Antonio. You can't do chalk art. What you can, in other words, beyond the what's the annual chalk it up or whatever the name of the annual event is, they let that happen. But the rest of it, it's actually illegal. They call it not
Graffiti?
or no, they call it
Peter, I think we all got to go, but
Yeah.
do you have what are we doing with promotion of this thing with our brochure? How we, and the radio, or can we get on NPR and stuff?
Well, first thing is, as soon as we can get that one, I mean, I'm talking about that one single line. God bless America. I'm having a hard time. If we can get that one single line changed from test drive an EV to whatever we have, it's in the chat, whatever the actual text was. Are you still there, Robert?
Yeah, so the PDF is ready to go. Yeah,
Great.
I've got all that finished, so I'll
Can
get
we
that sent out.
change that?
Yeah, so I've got all of that changed.
Can we
And
change that?
So, Robert, if you can send that to me, I'll put it online and send everybody a link. That's the simplest.
Can we
way to
change
send
that
it.
talk to EV owners and their cars?
yeah, so I changed that to meet EV owners and see their cars.
Okay, that's good.
So it's consistent with all the other bullet points. And then the last one's to Alan's take steps toward a brighter future. So those changes. And also I added the bottom of the flyer, I added a note about the refillable water bottles and also refilling stations available. So hopefully that covers everything that we need to. But happy to make any other changes if we need to.
Great.
But I'll get that sent out right now.
So,
Robert, can you upload that to the Action Network? You just got that
oh,
link.
no, that's somebody else.
Yeah. That's George.
We'll get that done, Laura. We'll get that done. But again,
Okay, that's
he's
just
not-
that headline.
he's not.
Dan.
Yes, he's not uploading what he just edited. He's uploading the other.
No, I understand that, but
Okay.
I'm asking who will do the uploading to the Action Network.
We'll get it done.
Okay.
I'll see to that. So I also put a link in there to Kunstler Brewing for anybody in San Antonio who wants to get a beer. At 5 o'clock, I'm meeting friends. So come on down, y'all. Kunstler Brewing. It's on the south side. It's a good place. It's good beer.
It is good place.
People. It's a good time.
Side.
Thank you. Robert, I liked it. I like the flyer. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, Robert, did you send that? Well, you'll email it to us, right? Are you emailing me the flyer and I'll get it out to people?
Yes, I think that'd be better. And
Yeah,
then
we're ready to get it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you'll make sure, Pete, if you'll make sure to take down the draft one so we don't have the draft one floating around out there.
Okay. I will do that.
Awesome. All right, I'll get that sent out right now.
Very good. Well, I will, very good session, and I'll stop the recording.